Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brittany Miller, and I'm with Raising Special Kids. And I decided that I needed to hop on and rebroadcast our Here with Families, Here for Families mask wearing Facebook Live tips. If you were on for our last broadcast a few minutes ago, I apologize for the interference. So I am starting over because I want to make sure the information is clear and concise and you guys can hear what I'm talking about as we share some tips. So for a Raising Special Kids update, we have been busy. Last Saturday, we had our summer school for parents, and we had a great day collaborating with families via Facebook Live. We had families learning on our online trainings. We had one-on-one consultations. We even had some giveaways. So we hope you really enjoyed learning along with the rest of us. And for those that missed out, don't worry. We are in the process of scheduling our virtual trainings for the next few months, and we hope you join us. We also had our legal options turning 18 classes this week in English and Spanish, so you can learn about guardianship, power of attorney, SSI, all of those things, adult and young adulthood related. So if you have questions and you want to learn about those options, don't worry, we will get some more classes on the calendar, and you can also call our office. So again, my name is Brittany Miller, and I'm hopping back on to reshare our mask wearing tips for our Here with Families, Here for Families Facebook Live. Sorry for those that had jumped on earlier. I wanted to redo so we had better video quality. So again, today we are going to be briefly talking about some tips to help our loved ones and our kids with disabilities tolerate wearing masks. So just as a reminder, Raising Special Kids, we follow all of the CDC guidelines, as well as the guidance and mandates from our local, state, and federal governments on this issue. So we recognize that this maybe can be a hot topic, but that's not what we're going to focus on today. We're going to focus on me sharing some tips that I've gathered that may help you help your children tolerate mask wearing as we start venturing out. So let's go ahead and get started. So to start things off, there are several types of masks people have been wearing out there. So I think a lot of moms have gotten really creative. I'm just going to hold up a few. So some families are making their own. So there's lots of tutorials online. You can get fabric. You can put on whatever you want and have cute, fun prints for your kids. But many people are selling and making face masks on their own. And you can find tutorials for those on YouTube, by Googling, watching on Pinterest. So that can be a fun way to make mask wearing a little less intimidating for our kids, especially if you let them choose the patterns. There are also these I'm grabbing these white disposable masks. They're really thin, I like them, and they're soft. So my little daughter, Brooke, she has global developmental delays and doesn't understand what it's like and the reasoning behind mask wearing as much as her sisters do. So by wearing this lightweight mask, it has been less scary for her. Now, in all honesty, we haven't taken her out much, but the thin cotton disposable type masks have worked for her when it has been needed. If your child has medical needs, or maybe you're a first responder or a nurse at the hospital, you may see these, let's see, they're the N95 masks. They're kind of like a dome that they wear over their mouths, and I'm not gonna do it right now, but you take the strap and put it over your head, and these really protect. They're definitely, you dispose of them when you're done, but if your child is immunocompromised or you work in the medical field, you've probably seen those before, and you'll want to utilize them if you feel that's necessary. So there are many out there. This week I saw a neat mask that was transparent, so you could see the person's lips when they were talking, and that was really great because I think it will help the hearing impaired. So if they read lips to help communicate and understand, they will still be able to do so. I think it'll also be maybe less scary for our little ones to be able to see more of their parent's face when you guys are mask wearing. So there are a lot of creative options out there, and I know many therapists are utilizing that transparent mask. I've seen some great ones out there on social media. So whatever type of mask you are wearing or you're trying to get your kid to wear, there is some good guidance on tips on how to make that happen. So why is it such a struggle maybe for our children with disabilities to tolerate mask wearing? Well, as you know, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused added stress to their lives. Maybe they had a ABA therapy regularly. Maybe they were having a therapist or a respite provider come in, and maybe that was paused a little bit. They're not venturing out as much. They're not having their regular routine happen like it did before. And it has caused added stress to all of us, and especially our kids with disabilities. So combine that added stress with the fact that we're asking them to wear masks when they go out in public. It can be scary and intimidating. Some of our kiddos have maybe sensory issues, maybe the smell, the sight of masks, the touch, the feeling of it over their face. Maybe it makes them feel claustrophobic. There are a lot of different sensory reasons why mask wearing is difficult. Like I said before, if your loved one has a hearing impairment, they probably need to be able to see your lips to understand you. So mask wearing can be hard unless you have one of those neat transparent ones. Maybe they have respiratory issues or a medical need where mask wearing is hard and difficult. There are a lot of reasons why mask wearing is hard, but regardless of what they are, it often can cause stress for our children with disabilities. So today I wanted to share some tips I found as I was doing some homework this week on helping our kids with disabilities learn to tolerate mask wearing. Now, I know these won't work for everyone, but I thought the sources that I looked into had some great tips. So I will be posting the resources in the comments later on after this broadcast, but I did get some good advice from Harvard Health. They're publishing. They had a great article for mask wearing for children with autism. Kids Health, healthreachchildrens.org, and even the New York Times had some great ideas. So I do have a list, and I am going to look at it because I want to make sure that I get to these points as I'm going through my suggestions. So first of all, you could put a mask on a beloved stuffed animal or doll or toy that your child loves and likes and normalize it. Make it, tell them why we're wearing it. It's keeping them safe. It's keeping our germs to ourselves. It's keeping our family safe, and maybe putting a mask on their favorite stuffed animal will make it seem less scary. I remember when my daughter got her G-tube, the hospital gave her a cute teddy bear with a G-tube actually in it, and it really normalized it for her and her siblings. And so it's kind of similar to the whole, putting a mask on their teddy bear, making it normal and not so scary. You could also put your mask on and have your child put their mask on and then face a mirror and talk about it. Talk about why you wear it, talk about the need to wear it because of COVID-19 and what's going on, and how together as a family you're working hard to be safe and you want your child to try to learn to wear one too. You could practice wearing the masks for a short duration of time. So like many of our children, they rely on routine and structure, and many of our kids are used to goal setting and working on those goals. So maybe we try wearing the mask, 5 to 10 minutes at a time and taking a break and then building up from there. That's another way we can help our children with sensory needs and struggles, tolerate mask wearing over time. Another tip I thought was really important is when you decide to venture out wearing masks as a family for the first time, don't pick Costco on a Saturday. Don't pick a busy location where the noise and the stress of the loud crowd and all those people are already sensory overload anyway, and then you're asking your child who has sensory issues to put a mask on. Probably not the wisest thing to do. So pick somewhere more quiet. Don't go to Costco on a Saturday. Pick somewhere less stressful to try that first outing out of mask wearing together. This is something I'm actually going to do with my little daughter, is you can take a picture of them wearing the mask and make a cue card. So you could have a picture of your kiddo wearing a mask, and when it's time to go out the door, hold it up. You could even put that image on their iPad and use it as a choice. So my daughter utilizes a program called Go Talk Now, and she's able to make choices on a communication app. So that could be something that we put on there. So making it something they're aware of and they know about and you can practice. So as you venture out the door, you can cue them so they know, okay, it's time to put my mask on. And honestly, really talking to them about why we're doing it. I said this previously, but you can decorate them to make sure they are more fun. You can pick out cute fabrics that they like, whether it's Shopkins or Star Wars, Barbies, Toy Story, whatever they love. You can pick out that fabric and decorate masks. You can do whatever you want to personalize them and make your kids part of that process and make it fun for them. And maybe that'll ease some of their fears and anxieties over wearing it. This one I thought was really interesting. So In the Harvard article, I believe, they shared that if your child is having anxiety or stress over having that mask on over their face, to give them some gum or hard candy to suck on as a distraction. And it also maybe can help with the sense and sensations of that recycled air that they're trying to breathe in. And they found that often it can kind of help ease those feelings of being overwhelmed. So that could be something you could try to get your child to tolerate it. And like I said before, some medical settings, they have transparent face masks. And I've seen speech and OTs wearing them lately too. And if that's something you think would help your child, especially if they have a hearing impairment or they require lip reading to understand, what you want and how to communicate with you, buying one of those transparent masks where the face area is clear would be really helpful for that. Something that I've been seeing lately all over social media and online is there's been some great social stories with ideas on how to wear masks, venture out in public, on COVID-19, even on COVID testing. They've been popping up this week, especially with all of the mandates that we've been hearing from our counties all over the state on having to wear masks when we go out in public. So I encourage you to go to raisingspecialkids.org. We have a great COVID-19 section where we have posted a bunch of those social stories. Also, go online, Google mask wearing and social stories, and I promise you'll find a bunch of cute ones and ones that make it simple and less fearful for our children that you can read over and help emphasize in your home before you decide to try it out. Another thing I thought was really great is that some of the social stories out there were talking about how to help children understand the actual COVID test, because that can be scary. I know as an adult, I have not had to do it, but I believe it can be a little intimidating and nerve-wracking. Having to be held down maybe, to have something put down your throat, the fear of actually having COVID, all of those sensations and worries, our kids are having them too, and maybe even more. And so some of these websites, which head to raisingspecialkids.org to our resource section, because there are some great social stories for COVID-19 testing that have popped up, especially lately. And also go online. I promise you'll find them. There's some great ones. So don't forget some tips when you're putting on a mask. It seems pretty obvious, but it's a good reminder. Before you put your mask on, have everyone wash their hands. So wash your hands, and then when you're putting the mask on, advise your child to grab it by the straps, because our fingers can get dirty, and then stretch it out, and make sure it covers their mouth and their nose, and then stretch it out so the mask goes over their ears. So that is the proper way to wear it. I have seen people admittedly at stores where maybe they're not covering their nose, and that is not going to be effective. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on your kids, that they're wearing it effectively and properly so they can be protected. And then when it's time to take it off, when you walk outside, hold it by the strap and take it off that way. If it's a disposable mask, toss it. Don't touch the front of the mask again where the material has been exposed, because that is where the germs are. And wash your hands afterwards. If it's a cotton mask or a fabric mask that you guys have made or you've purchased from someone lately, put it somewhere safe in a bag in your purse or whatever, and when you get home, wash it. Definitely one-time uses for all masks unless you're going to clean them, and the disposable ones certainly you would throw away. But those are just some health and safety tips that are important. So I do want to emphasize that mask wearing for our kids with disabilities is not going to be easy. All of us at Raising Special Kids understand we have children with disabilities. We have children that have maybe autism or cerebral palsy or sensory processing disorder, and we too are trying to get our kids to understand and figure out how to wear them. So don't be discouraged. Just keep trying and know that we're here for you and we understand. Sometimes it may be pretty impossible and maybe it's just not going to happen. But thankfully, our local governments have recognized that. And if you look at your county websites, you'll see most mask wearing counties that have made it mandatory. They do have exceptions and stipulations for people that can't tolerate mask wearing for medical reasons or disabilities. So there is that option. So thankfully, our state has become aware and more understanding of the need to have those exceptions. But overall, today, I just wanted to share some of those tips with you guys, and maybe it'll make things a little less stressful for your kids when you're practicing mask wearing at home or you're venturing out to public places together. So just to recap, don't forget, for those that have jumped on a little late, some fun tips to make it fun. You could have children help decorate their masks, make their masks. You could put a mask on a beloved stuffed animal to help normalize it, make it not as scary. Before trying it out, you could put on a face mask yourself and then put on a face mask for your child, and then look in the mirror and talk about it together and talk about the importance of it. You could make a cue card with a picture of your child wearing that mask, or maybe upload that picture to their communication device that you can prompt them with as you're running out the door to go somewhere. Let's see, you could give them gum or something to suck on to distract them from the stress of having to wear it. Lots of great resources and tips out there. And I understand it's not going to work for everyone, but we just wanted to share some ideas to help our families that are trying to follow the guidelines and keep their children safe by wearing masks. So I'm glad I could jump on with you today. Today's a little more short and sweet, but I just thought it was important to talk about this topic. We at Raising Special Kids felt it was really relevant given what's going on in our community lately, and the fact that when you go out in public now, most people are going to have masks on, and maybe that'll be a little scary, and maybe that'll instill some fear or anxiety, but using some of these tips and tools will help. So I hope that those listening in can find something that works for their child. Raising Special Kids, we all hope you have a wonderful weekend with your families. Remember, we're here for you. So next week, or even, we close a little later this afternoon, but if you have questions about special education, what it's going to look like as you prepare for next year, if you have questions about how to apply for DDD or long-term care and what that process looks like and how do I become eligible, if you have questions about finding a support group, or maybe just you want to talk to someone who understands what you're going through, call us. I promise we can help you, and our family support team is happy and willing to do that. Please call our office at 602-242-4366. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and please stay safe out there. Take care.